Hi Cancer, this is your reading for mid-July 2026. Hope you guys are doing well. Let's see what the cards have in store for you. And if you're new to my channel, the way I read cards is reading your energy in the present moment. I'm not telling you this is your fixed future because traditionally tarot was used always to read current energies, just to give you just to show you things that you may not be aware of in the moment, and to show you any blocks that you may currently have, and that way you can actually alter your course to create a better outcome. All right, Cancer. So my Cancer friends, starting off, we have the Seven of Swords in reverse. Have you been feeling like maybe you could use some help, but you don't want to ask for help? Have you been feeling a little conflicted about how needing help might make you be perceived as inferior, or there's some, okay, yeah, I'm getting a message that there's some conditioning that you've been trying to overcome where you feel like it's not okay to ask for help. You feel kind of like a burden for asking for help. We have the Lover's card for your current situation, crossed by the Magician. Okay, so have you been having a lot of really good ideas, but you just haven't really been able to apply them? Maybe you haven't been able to apply your ideas because you're in a situation right now where you're kind of just struggling just to get by. I feel like you're not really having a lot of compassion for yourself. You're trying to be a little overly logical about your situation, and feeling like you have to go it alone. We have the Eight of Swords beneath you. Again, this is an energy of feeling isolated and cut off from people that are in a similar situation to you. Feeling a little like it's an energy of not knowing what you don't know, and not knowing the resources that are available to you. Above you, we have the moon reversed. There, it's almost like you're having a voice in your head that wants to do certain things, but another voice that is currently stronger in you is telling you that's not logical. Put your head down, do what you need to do. There's a part of yourself that you aren't recognizing in the current moment. Cancer, you're a very nurturing person to other people, but I feel like you can be really hard on yourself. And I think it's time for you to listen to that inner voice that has all of these great ideas. And it's okay to rely on people. Everyone needs help sometimes. In your near possible future, we have the Five of Swords reversed. Okay, it's almost like you're repressing some feelings about something that happened and feeling like you don't have a right to be sad or a right to be angry. Maybe as a child, you were punished for any time you expressed your anger. It was an emotion that wasn't allowed in your family. It wasn't acceptable. Or even sadness wasn't acceptable. And so you're just trying to keep that down, keep that beneath the surface by putting on a strong face and pretending that those emotions just don't exist. And it's almost a bit of guilt, like you feel guilty for having these feelings, like you shouldn't have them, and you're trying to rationalize them away. Maybe something happened to you and you're just thinking like, I don't have a right to be upset about this. Maybe you're trying to rationalize it by saying, I put myself in that situation, or it wasn't as bad as I'm making it seem, because maybe whoever put you in that situation also did a lot of good things for you as well. But just because someone does good things for you, it doesn't also give them a right to treat you badly part of the time. We have the Three of Cups and your current attitude about the situation. And that was in reverse. Have you been all work and no play, Cancer? Do you not feel like you have a right to celebrate? Do you not feel like you have a right to let loose ever? In your environment, we have the Sun in reverse. At this time, you're feeling out of touch with the vulnerable side of yourself. And one thing that in our society, we're just so taught that we have to be strong all the time. And so what we end up doing is when something bothers us, we just kind of pretend like it didn't bother us. And what this actually ends up doing is creating a rift between you and other people, because after a while you start to feel like, I can't ever approach someone about the way that they made me feel, so maybe I should just stop interacting with people altogether. That way no one can make me feel this way in the future. It's kind of like, not only are you avoiding your feelings, you're avoiding having to avoid those feelings. Does that make sense? And to be vulnerable is actually to be strong, because when we're vulnerable, we are acknowledging that something isn't right, and we are asserting ourselves to say, hey, this made me feel a certain way, and I'm going to bring it to your attention. You can do it in a respectful way, and maybe you never had that modeled for you. Maybe growing up, the only time you saw someone actually assert themselves, they were actually being very aggressive, and you don't want to be like that whatsoever. So you're just going the completely opposite way, which is being totally passive. In your hopes and fears, we have the Tower. There is some kind of constraint around there's some kind of repression that has been built up around you, that is making you feel like you just have to keep tolerating nonsense. You just have to keep tolerating bullshit, and you just have to keep putting on a strong face and acting like everything's okay, when in reality it's not. And you are afraid that if you actually were to confront that everything would come crumbling down around you. And for the final outcome, for the final possible outcome, we had the Page of Swords in reverse. Okay, so if we don't let our emotions out, they're going to come out in unpredictable ways. And we're going to end up creating unconscious patterns. We're going to end up finding ourselves in situations that we are unaware of, that we had created ourselves. And this is something that people that have survived trauma do a lot. I believe that we do this because we think by playing out the same situation that this time we can do it right, or that this time someone will notice that we are hurting and we can actually finally heal from that wound. But there's another way to deal with this situation, and that is by becoming aware of your inner dialogue and your inner thoughts, and noticing the feelings that they create in you. And there's a quiet voice inside of you that's your inner child. That's here in the Sun card. When something bothers you and you have that little voice that says, this is making me feel uncomfortable. You've been keeping that voice quiet for too long, shoved him away into a room, and it's getting to a point where you're not able to create the life that you want to create. It's getting in the it's getting in the way of your growth. So it's time to start being more compassionate with yourself, Cancer. It's time to start protecting your inner child. And when you start protecting your inner child, it's going to feel more comfortable to come out into the world and be more spontaneous and creative and playful. And you won't have to have this feeling of just putting your head down and just doing what you need to do. Just doing what you need to do to get by. Life is more than just getting by. Life is finding our true expression in the world. It's becoming an individual, and we do that by acknowledging our inner child, because if you think about it, back when you were a kid, before we had all of this conditioning as to what feelings were acceptable, which were unacceptable, or which behaviors were favored versus which behaviors were punished, there was a time when we were our true selves. And you may remember as a child that you loved to sing, but you stopped trying to sing because everyone made you feel like it was stupid or you weren't good at it. And this time for you is all about getting back in touch with your emotions. I have a lot of swords here, which is a lot of logic. It's becoming overly rational, and it's suppressing your feelings and ending up becoming a passive observer to your life instead of an active participant. Okay, Cancer, that's your reading for mid-July, and I hope you do come more in touch with your inner child and start protecting them, making them feel like they're valuable. That way you can start to become more creative and figure out what it is you really want in life and what your interests really are. And that's it. I guess I'll see you guys in August. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your month. Bye-bye.